It's been a really interesting season on We Got This Africa, talking to extraordinary Ghanaian women sharing their stories of courage, hope, and resilience. There's been so many beautiful moments, tears, laughter, singing, and dancing. Most importantly, we have held the space that hopefully brings courage and hope to other women going through similar circumstances. Today on the show, we recount some of our most interesting conversations. Stay tuned. We got this. We got this. On our acne episode, Wgta Alison and Oheniwa get deep about having bad skin in today's perfect picture world. From Wgta waking up in the morning to find pus and blood on her pillow, to the days when she smiled, had acne popping and pus running down her cheeks. Now, acne is something that a lot of people would want to hide or fix. How are you flaunting it? Like, what drove you to be able to do this?
So when I put it this way, people say I'm being too spiritual about it, but this was a prompting from God.
Okay.
And it took me 1 year, a whole year, to actually come out with that, because it was pressing in my spirit. Post it, talk about it. And I was like, who is going to want to hear this? Who is going to want to see this? But one day I just woke up and I said, you know what, I'm going to do this. I don't care who resonates with it or not. I don't care the backlash. Once God has dropped this in my spirit, it means it's for someone. And that is what I went ahead to do.
Wow, that's very powerful. You also do some advocacy on social media.
Okay, so it's just basically my journey so far. During puberty, I didn't get acne as most women do. Let's just say I'm the 1%, the exception.
Okay.
So I got my acne this year after I turned 25.
Wait, all your life you never had acne?
No, not really, no.
How does it feel to be God's favorite?
Actually, so I didn't have acne at all.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, I just woke up one day and my face started hurting. I started getting tiny pimples on my cheeks, on my chin. It was really bad. Sensitive forehead, like everything hurt. Even makeup application hurt. Using a beauty blender hurt. And I had to see an esthetician, but I put it off because I thought maybe I was sick, maybe my period, you know. And then later on, I spoke to an esthetician on Instagram, and she asked me a few questions. Actually, the first question she asked me was my age. And I asked her what my age has got to do with me getting acne, and she said everything. So when I told her my age, and she was like, well, that is also a factor. And then she asked if I had been depressed lately, and I was depressed for about 1.5 years.
What had caused your depression?
School.
Oh.
Yeah. I couldn't graduate when I was supposed to. And then COVID happened, and then getting a job right after school was very difficult, especially because of the course I did. So yeah, that was basically it. So a lot of things. But then the main reason why I got the onslaught of acne was because of my age.
25?
Yeah. You can't get it after 25. People call it adult acne.
Adult acne?
Yeah.
Was it bad?
Very bad. A hyperpigmentation, cystic acne. Cystic acne is basically an acne on top of another acne, and then inflamed. So I was suffering from inflamed acne most of the time, because that's why it hurts so much. So it was very sensitive. And because I was still a model at the time, I couldn't get on shows because of that, because your face needs to be clear as a model, just to walk on a runway.
Were you a face model?
No, I was mostly a runway model, but I tried being a face model. It didn't really work out because of that.
But to be a runway model, you have to have a clear face also.
Yes.
I see.
So being a model
is not just about body.
No, being a model is skin, weight, features. You need to have strong features.
Isn't acne a strong feature?
Well, yes, it is, but then it's not what the masses want to see on a model's face as she walks down the runway.
So you couldn't model anymore?
Yeah, I couldn't. And I accepted it quickly.
Wow.
I started my skincare very well, and I've been very consistent with it and now my face is better.
Well, your face looks really good. First of all, I cannot see any acne on your face. When you came in, I saw your acne. And I thought, okay, you have acne. When you came in, I thought, where's the acne? I don't see your acne. I don't, your face, you have the best skin on this table.
Well, that's because I'm recovered. It took me about a year and 4 months to get here. And that was in February of this year. So it's been a journey from the very first day COVID hit Ghana was when I decided, because we were sitting at home, I decided to pay attention to my skin and to put in the work to get my skin to a good place.
When did your acne start?
November 2019. I had just completed my national service. The stress of national service, I think, has also aggravated that face. But then I also turned 25.
What's the thing with 25?
I don't know.
As I said, it starts from 24. You may or you may not get it.
And that's for people who didn't. Did you have acne as a child?
No.
So for people who did not have acne,
most likely didn't have acne during puberty.
Okay, it's likely to start at 25.
The percentage is high.
Was it bad?
Extremely. I could not touch my face. So so up to now, I still sleep on my back.
Yeah.
Because I cannot put my head on my
neck. Everybody can relate to that. If you are a skincare enthusiast, you sleep on your back.
You all grew up in Ghana, I suppose. How was it for you? Have you always been plus size?
Yeah.
Yes.
You've all always been plus size?
I've been plus size since childhood.
Since childhood?
Yeah.
Okay, how was it growing up? Did you have problems with bullies?
A lot. I remember when I was in JSS, but then I'll say I was like 14, 15 years by then. My auntie sewed my school clothes, my school uniform. Was very big, very big.
Bigger than you?
I'm telling you, because her mindset was, I'm using it from Form 1 to Form 3.
3 years?
I'm telling you. So just imagine.
Yeah.
Yes, just imagine. And because of my school uniform, my friends used to call me Oboroi.
Ogboroye?
Yes, Oboroi. It was very big, like very big.
Big.
So when it happened like that, actually, by then I wasn't so much concerned about my size. I was a kid by then. So you see, I wasn't shy. I don't care whether you call me Oboroi or not. I'm me. I don't care about anything. But later on, when we were going to write our BEC, that was when I felt very bad. Because it wasn't my school alone going to that premises to write the BEC. A whole lot of different people and watching my own people, my own classmates, moving me around these
strangers.
People. Yeah. That was when I felt like, why are they doing this? At least they should know that we are with different people, not us alone. For them alone, I wasn't feeling anything. They are my friends. We eat, we do sports together, we go to break, we chat and all that, we learn together. But mingling with other people and they still call me names, I felt very bad, very bad.
How about you? Did you have any problems with bullies as a child?
Yeah, but as for me, I didn't feel bad because it was like anytime we go to a place, I sound out different from them. People are eyes are always on me, so I never felt bad. Although sometimes when we go for sports, because I can't go fast, they always take the lead, then I'll be there at the back. They'll be saying, someone say waka, someone say won't remember. There may be my friends, some will wait for me, then they'll be holding my hands. Then at a time I felt like, oh, I should cry, but I hold myself, I don't cry.
Why would you want to cry?
Because of the way they will be saying, someone will say waka, someone say yekweja, when the way some will say, let's go and live there, but some of my friends will stay there and wait for me to hold my hand so that I can join them as we are going. So sometimes I feel like, oh, why are they doing that? Why are they treating me like that? So no matter what, I'm a human being. I'll feel sad small.
Was that in JSS or primary school?
Primary, yeah.
Primary school. Very young.
Yeah, very young.
How about you? Did you have any problems like that?
Yes, I wasn't having any problem. I was okay. If they were calling me Obolo, Obolo. If they call me Obolo, I'm okay. I feel happy. But my parents told me that my father was fat. He was very fat. So I asked my dad, Dad, why? I understand why you are too. He said, you wait, you in neighbor. So I asked my mom. My mom told me when I was kid, I was very fat. I couldn't even crawl. Yeah, walking crawl was very difficult. They have to look for medications and do for me before I was able to walk.
Wow. As a baby?
Yes, as a baby. But when I go to school, I was okay.
Okay.
When they call me Obolo, I was okay because everywhere I go, people will be calling me. That was no. I was not having any mindset that.
So when they call you Obolo, you respond?
Yes, I'll respond.
You didn't mind?
No.
Do you mind when people call you that?
Yeah, when I was like 2-3 years, those days, when you are fat as a baby, people around cherish you.
We like chubby babies.
Especially, yes. Hey, wow,
yeah, chubby babies are the cutest.
And at Arabia, they look good on you.
Yeah.
So going like 8 years that way, you still feel
cute.
Okay, but at that time, I send me until send me control peace. Yeah, me now for 4 years, that was when I felt bad.
How about as adults? Do you still get bullied by people?
Yeah,
they
do.
Yes,
a lot. Every day, here and there. In the church, in the salon,
in the church.
I'm telling you, everywhere. Going to wedding, funeral, anywhere at all. They bully. How old are our babies?
So my twins are 6 years.
Twins! 6
years, yeah.
So this is 6 years ago?
Yeah, 6 years.
All right, and you?
My baby is just 1. She turned 1 last month.
Oh, happy birthday. Belated. Did you have a party?
A little one because we are still not, when you've had a preemie and you've gone through all of it, we try to keep it like small in our space. We are still trying to protect her because, she gave us a shock some time ago. We don't want another shock. So she's still not in school. She's still home. We kept it small, just family and friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. She still has some struggles.
Well, we do NICU clinic once every 6 months now. They just want to have a routine. After her 6 months, they just said come every 6 months. So we just go, they check her weight, if she's meeting her milestones, just routine. But she's well. She's well. Okay. But we've been told to try as much as possible to avoid an infection. So we are trying to keep her out of public places most of the time. Yeah.
At which month or after how many weeks did your baby come?
34 weeks. Yes.
That's small.
34. That's small. But in the NICU, she wasn't too. Her birth weight was actually fine. She was 2.5. Some full-term babies are even 2.5. So she wasn't so tiny in the NICU. But in the NICU, it's not about sizes. You can have a baby who's very little leaving, and you will be like big or a full time and you'll be lying there. So she was okay. She didn't spend so much time in the NICU. She spent just 5 days. But 5 days in the NICU is not just because every minute in the NICU, one time, yeah. Even if it's not you, what you see happening around you, what others are going through, it doesn't really help you. And you are a new mom, you are now recuperating, you are now adjusting, and then you are in a place where everybody is sad. But God is good.
After how many weeks did your babies come?
32.
Did you know they were coming at 32? Because I know for twin pregnancies, usually you schedule your delivery ahead of 40 weeks.
No, so what happened was, on my 6th month, heading to the 7th month, I went for my regular antenatal, and then my fundal height had, doubled or tripled, and I was asked to go for an emergency scan. On the day of the scan, that was when I got to know that I was having twins. So
you didn't know you were having twins?
I didn't know. I knew I was having a girl.
The previous scans did not show?
It was just a girl.
Okay.
So I got to the office, and then I was asked to plan. It was to see a specialist and plan for a CS. Normally,
twin pregnancies,
you are being advised to go for a CS. Maybe one is coming with the leg, the other one is coming with the head. So for your safety and that of the babies, I was supposed to go for a CS. Unfortunately or fortunately, they came before we even met the doctors. And when I saw them,
how did they come? Did you go into labor?
I didn't. I don't think I went. For my experience, I just woke up one dawn, Saturday, and then I just felt water coming down. And I was rushed to the hospital.
Were you in pain?
As at now, I can't remember I was in pain. I can't remember. There was no pain because I realized, I remember I woke up at dawn and then I went back to sleep. At 4 a.m. I woke up to prepare to go to work, only for me to find out water coming down. So I don't remember any pain. But then the funny thing that happened was when I got to the hospital, I was told I was 7 centimeters dilated.
That means that you're ready to give birth?
Yes, I was ready.
Wow.
7 is big.
Yeah. Almost there.
Yeah.
Almost there, yes.
So it was a good thing you were able to go to the hospital.
Yes.
Or you could have slept through it. I mean, you could have slept through the water passing.
No, I was preparing to go to work. I used to work at a call center.
Okay.
So I was supposed to just rush to get to work before 6.
Okay.
So it was that period I realized this. I remember I called my team lead and the team lead said, but I saw you yesterday running here and there, talking to customers here and there. So what had happened? Are you sure you have given birth or you just wanted an excuse not to come to work? I said, oh, come on.
She said, are you sure you've given birth?
Yes, because it was, even the whole center, everyone was shocked.
Okay.
Yes, and then the babies came out.
Did you have them by CS?
No, it didn't happen.
And they both came with their heads?
Everything.
Wow. Wow. That's like, it doesn't happen.
It doesn't. They call them miracle babies. So when they came, and then I looked at them, I asked for their weight. I was told 1.1 kg and 1.3 kg.
That's small.
So even the two together, 2.3 kg.
That's less than the size of one baby.
And they were very tiny. Their skin.
How tiny, like?
Not to sound offensive, like mice.
Mice?
They're very tiny. You could see through their veins. You could see the vein. Their eyes were very big. The head very big. Their fingers very, very small. They look very tender and very weak. So even lifting them up, sometimes you become very scared. You might think you're breaking a bone or something. So I personally, after the nurses helped me a lot, and when I go home, my mom took over. I told my mom I can't handle it.
When did you take them home?
After 7 days rather. After 7 days.
7 days?
Yes, we were asked to go home. No incubator. We just...
when you said 7, I thought you were going to say 7 weeks.
No, 7 days. I remember so well.
Angel talks about what it means to live with bipolar disorder in our society, from being abused by health caregivers and strangers, both physically and sexually, to having suicidal thoughts and being separated from her only child.
Angel, the last time I saw you was on Mentor.
Yes.
And it's like right after Mentor, you got lost.
Yes.
What happened?
Okay, right after Mentor, a lot of things happened. I went through some few heartbreaks, or shall I say, I went through heartbreak.
Romantic relationship?
Exactly.
Okay.
And due to that, I had to be running to and fro at the psychiatric hospital.
A heartbreak took you to the psychiatric hospital?
Exactly.
Wow.
And it's been like this for 10 years.
As in, you go to the psychiatric hospital to be committed, you stay there?
Yeah, I don't stay there. Through the heartbreak, I was diagnosed of first psychosis, and it later changed to bipolar.
Wow.
And it's like every year I was admitted at the hospital. Sometimes I stay in the hospital for 3 to 4 months. And even when I was pregnant, I stayed there for 6 months till I gave birth.
What were the events that happened after the heartbreak that took you to the psychiatric hospital?
Okay. We were in a studio one time, if I could remember. And all of a sudden, I changed. Like I was doing weird things in the studio.
Even though you had broken up, you were still recording with him?
No, when I had broken up with him, I wasn't recording with him anymore.
Okay.
But before the breakup, he did something. Should I say cheated or something? Because he had other girlfriends I didn't know about. It was later I got to know.
Okay.
And that led to, the breakup. Okay, that practically led to the breakup. But
Okay.
what I'm trying to say is I was doing some weird things in the studio.
Weird things like what?
I can't really remember, but like I spat on him. I was beating him.
Were you
I
aware?
took off my slippers. Yes. That's what I remember. But I can't. That's what I can remember.
Okay.
And before I knew it, I was taken to Central Hospital. And over there, I poo-pooed on myself, wee-weeing on myself, people coming there to take photo shoots and going like, is that not that star on Mentor? What is happening to her? It's like she's gone nuts.
So you were moved from Pantine to Accra Psychiatric?
Yes, that not the same, you know, because it keeps
recurring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I keep moving from hospital to hospital.
But were you getting the treatment you needed to recover?
I wasn't. At a point, I was beaten till I lost my teeth.
You were beaten by who?
By nurses. I learned I slapped a nurse unconsciously, like I just slapped.
You had an episode?
Yes, and I slapped a nurse. And he called somebody who has been on psychiatric for 16 years. That lady was really off, like off. And she was very wicked too. And that day, what they did to me, they broke 3 of my teeth, like, and the teeth I have here is all fixed on top, like half is broken. I had to fix it.
They beat
They
you up?
brutalized me. They used my head to hit a big wall, like a wall. They just held my head, like the way wrestling, like the way they wrestle and hold somebody's ears. Mine was like it.
They were smashing your head.
They were just smashing, like this one smashes it and give it to the next person. The next person smashes it and give it to the fellow. Then they kept like throwing me. My eye could have been lost because according to the beatings I saw, and there was nobody there to save me that day. This is the only year that I was in the psychiatric for a month, and I relapsed for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, like I was okay. I was doing things very, very well. Before they come, I've laid my bed neatly and all. And they were like, hey, so the way I have different styles of laying my bed. So sometimes that's how come they get to know that no, the way she's even laying her bed, she has to be out of this place. She's not supposed to be staying here. So before 1 month, 1 month, they just let me go home.
Okay. I'm so sorry for all that you've been through.
Yes. This is the only year.
And now, are you back home with your mother?
Yes, I'm still back there.
Yeah, back home with your mother. Okay.
I wish I can leave that place. Seriously. It's like dungeon.
It's like a dungeon?
I'm telling you.
Are your siblings still there?
Yes.
Are they okay?
I'm not too okay.
How so?
Financial wise.
Okay. You have a baby, don't you?
I do have a baby.
How old is he?
2 years, but I've not seen my baby in 2 years. He was taken away from me when I was 6 months old with him.
Angel, thank you for coming and for sharing. And I'm so sorry for all that you've been through. I don't know how you feel. I can't imagine how you feel. I can't begin to imagine how you feel.
My baby. I've been denied.
What's your baby's name?
Philemon. I named him after Elder Meku because of the help they rendered me. He and his wife.
I'm so sorry. What help do you need now?
I need help. I want to travel to the States. And I want to also be able to buy my medication and food. Without food, I can't take my medication. When I don't take my medication, I don't sleep. I keep staying awake, thinking. But when I take the drugs, I'm able to sleep calmly, like I just sleep. And I need a lot of food and money on me. I need it badly.
Okay.
So if they are listening to me, any way they can do to help me financially, I don't know what to say. They should just help me.
You're watching We Got This Africa. We'll be right back.
We got this. We got this.
You're welcome back. You're watching We Got This Africa. On our next episode, Chichi shares her heartbreaking story of how she lost her twin babies. The first due to an ectopic pregnancy and the second due to a doctor's negligence. And Yehowadum recounts the devastation of experiencing 5 miscarriages. Both women share their story and how their experiences has led them to open dialogue to help support women who have experienced miscarriages.
How many miscarriages have you had?
5.
5.
Yeah, 5.
Oh.
Back to back to back to back. 5. I never told anyone. Unlike Chichi, who was telling her friends, probably her family, I never told anyone except my husband.
Why?
Like you said earlier, I didn't want the sympathy. Oh, if you know Koshuku and Joe, no, I didn't want it. I didn't want the societal sympathy. Like, devil, you've taken 1, 2, 3, 4, but the 6th one, no, onale. No, when I give birth, I know when I take seed for the 6th time, I challenged God. I said, no, you said none shall be barren. We will have children as women. So if I lose this one I'm carrying, no, then there's no God. I can't lose the 6th child. And then I got to my dance, 5 back to back.
Over what period? How long?
2 years.
5 miscarriages in 2 years?
Yes, now. And it's not just miscarriage, just that live, just the blood is just getting and that's it. You have to go to the hospital. I have to literally go to the hospital, theater, back to back for like 7 times. Yes, now.
And that's also a very emotional thing. Like it's, yes, at the point of a DNC, you know that you have already lost a child. Yeah. But going to a theater to have a DNC can be very difficult. You know, the part that is more difficult is when you know that, okay, you go for scan, oh, the baby is forming, it's 4 weeks, you're happy, you're excited. Young couple, you go, they said it's 8 weeks, oh, good, you're good. And then the next week you go and it is not going. What is not going? I was just here last week. There's no heartbeat. It is forming. What is not going? And then the centimeter it has to be now is shrinking. There's no heart. Like, doctor, my heartbeat's number. What if there's no heartbeat? And then, like, throw it in your face like that, you're gone.
Our health system sometimes can fail us. If they had even listened to me and taken me seriously the very minute I said this, that 3 minutes of wasting time and not treating me as an emergency, probably I would have been on the bed and then I wouldn't even embarrass myself right at the consultation room and then I have to be billed while I'm peeing and pooping on myself. And wearing masks then. I mean, because of my good jollof, so at least people know this face. It's so embarrassing. No, it's so humiliating. Just because people will not even listen to. Oh, one on us by. Before we could say Jack, I kept saying, I need a scan. I need to see if everything was okay. And we were like, they just have to cut me open straight to see what is happening inside.
They didn't do a scan?
They didn't do a scan.
Why? Did they know you were pregnant?
I was pregnant. They just have to cut me open because they feel something is going on.
It was so bad.
It was that bad. So they cut me open. I mean, I had blacked out the last night, so I told my mom, that's the last night I remember telling my mom. I woke up 2 days later.
2 days?
Yeah. And what it was is, they told me that I was bleeding internally, 3 liters of blood. If you know, like the big bottle size is 1.5. 2 of those bottles I had bled internally inside my tummy. It almost really and I was just going around. And they said this had been happening probably for a period of a week. Because it's like a ticking time away in small that had erupted finally on that day.
What caused it?
Because a baby was in the tube. what they had ruled out confidently.
The baby had formed your fallopian tube,
Yes.
so it was ectopic.
Yes. But they ruled it out. Same hospital, they ruled it out. Okay. There was nothing like
Oh my God.
anywhere.
You could have
You know
died.
how painful it is when you, even as a lay person, you had your gut feeling that
Yeah, your husband asked.
And my husband asked. You could have read so many things. So for me, I lost 2 on that day. Because of the trauma of me blacking out.
The baby
oxygen
in the
act
womb.
for the one sitting in the room, they know it take off. But they were like, they didn't want to do a DNC because they feel like it's not off. Honey, they did like a CS on me. Took what was in the tube out. Me and Tishina and Bamisane, now they had to do another scan to see if we still have a heartbeat. So when we did that scan, that's when they realized we've lost, let's say baby A or baby B too. So let's say A was the one that so we've lost baby B. Now
I have to go back.
That's what I made up. You know, I could deal with the pain. I was okay with it.
Sorry.
It hurt me so bad, you know. If they had seen it, if they had done the scan, when they come up, they would have done everything. It was a big bad mistake.
Sorry. Sleep when baby sleeps.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. There's so much to do, and if you want to sleep when baby sleeps, I don't know how you can get things done.
So at what point do you sleep?
When I'm extremely tired, I just sleep.
You find a way. Did you ever sleep when baby sleeps?
Not really. So I actually got to sleep when my husband came back from work, and then he took over baby. Then I
That's
also
the
get
time
to
you get
sleep.
to sleep.
Yes.
Now, there are so many things that are huge shocks when you are freshly postpartum, when you bring your baby home. You know, when you're at the hospital, they take care of you, and then they give you the baby and say, okay, here you go, all the best. And then you have to go home and figure it out. What was the biggest shock for you postpartum?
My biggest shock was thinking for my baby. Like, when he cries, you're supposed to know that this is what he wants. And my baby likes food. I know they say guys, the boys like food, but I think his is extreme. Because he doesn't have patience when he's hungry. Like, when he's waking up from a nap, he expects that before he opens his eyes, there's milk in his mouth. Yes, so, I mean, it took a while to figure that out. It took a while to figure out, okay, he doesn't like heat. He likes his food at this temperature.
Okay.
I mean, it took a while to figure all that out, but now
And
okay.
in 3 months, you know the temperature your baby likes is what?
Wow, my mom has helped a lot. So,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I remember me, Charlie, till about my son was 1 year, my second son was 1 year, I still couldn't figure out a lot of things.
Exactly.
So you just go with the flow.
Yeah, you go with the flow. I have 2 boys, and
Okay.
I thought, like, when the second boy came, I thought, oh, I had it all figured out. I knew what I was going to do. But this guy came with his own formula. Like, he didn't go with what the first one came with. He was totally different, and I had to figure it out. I was like, I was a new mom all over again. And it was not pleasant. It was not pleasant at all. It was not
But I
pleasant.
realized at some point that every cry meant something else.
Exactly.
And it's something my friends kept asking me that, how do you, because he'll be crying and I'll say, oh, he's hot.
He's hot.
Or he'll be crying and I'll say, oh, it's because he's hungry.
Yeah.
And my friends will say, how do you know?
How do you know? With time, you get to know. You get to know. And it's not like the cry is different. It's the same cry, but then you're able to tell, this is for food. And this means he soiled himself and he needs a diaper change. And oh my God, it's a trying experience, but it's, when you look back, it's, I don't know the word to use, but it pays off.
Yeah, eventually.
Eventually pays off.
Have you bought anything you're sure you never use?
Not yet, because I was advised.
Oh, you got
buying
advice.
things. Stop buying things.
Yeah.
I realize he goes very fast. Like, I think he's a bit
bigger than his age.
Okay.
So we realized that early on. And so it was even my dad that said, stop buying baby things. Because I think I go online, I see something, I'm like, oh, this will look nice on my baby, I want to get it. This will do this, but...
No. They are all different.
You know, did you buy a crib?
So I actually had one made. I saw one on Pinterest and I actually had it made for me. The first one did not sleep in it at all. But the second one, the baby, he tends to sleep in it. So at least I saved some money.
Right now, we are in November now. I mean, definitely in January, you're supposed to be paying school fees. If you have any money right now, you have to be saving towards it. Obviously, hardly do the women save towards school fees, which is true.
I'm not going to say anything.
So, you know, so it's
I'm
like
not going to say anything.
your expenses become some way. You know, you're being very careful what you buy, you're being careful what you do, how you spend and all those things, because you know that you have other financial obligations to meet, I mean, with the child, you know.
Okay.
I mean, when they were young, I used to fight with her because of the diapers.
Why?
Because you're always buying diapers.
Because the baby always needs
You
diapers.
can put a pack of diaper in the bag to school back and it's finished. You don't know what they are doing with it. In a week, you are buying diapers.
What do you think they are doing with it?
I don't know. I don't know. You know, so it got to a time, and that was one thing I was so happy about, because around about a year, roughly to 2 years, we put them off the diapers. You know, and that was one thing I was so proud about with my wife, because she tried with that, and that was one of the expenses that went off, and I was really happy about.
Okay.
You know.
Are you spending your money?
I don't think so. I don't think so, honestly. Well, my wife, I remember my wife often tells me, "You're not buying anything for yourself. You're not doing anything for yourself." She do so. So she's the one that is able to prompt that and maybe take from me to spend on myself. Maybe she's the one that does that.
Now, this is something that a lot of women who come on this show talk about, postpartum depression. A lot of women suffer postpartum depression. And one of the things that happen during this time is that the man suffers it too, or the man suffers the consequences of the woman's depression. So outbursts, the woman's mood swings after the baby comes, sometimes bouts of anger and flaring up. Did any of you experience this with your wives?
I think for my first son, it was fine. It was okay. And I think just a year after she took seed again, we were happy about it. Somewhere down the line, about 5-6 months, we lost the baby.
I'm so sorry.
Then we waited until last year, November. Last year, November, she went to labor. She said she would deliver herself. So we went through the process. Then she gave birth, and the baby died before.
Oh, dear Lord.
Arriving. Then after that, she herself suffered they call postpartum hemorrhage.
Yeah, hemorrhage.
She was bleeding heavily. In fact, she was almost gone. After the whole thing, our doctor himself has to go to church and give a Thanksgiving offering. And for me personally, that night, I understood what David said. I walked through the valley of the shadow of death.
How was the experience for you?
I was like, you see when a rain beats the fowl, you see how the fowl comes out
shaking.
Exactly. I couldn't pray again at a point. I called my pastor. He was helping us to pray. They spent about a week or 2 in the hospital. Then when we got home, mind you, this incident happened about 5 months after my dad passed away. And my dad and I were very close. So I was kind of dealing with my dad's demise, then hoping maybe when baby comes, I'll take solace in baby. The baby is dead. My wife almost dead. But when we came home, all the family people, everybody that comes around and things, all the attention was with my mom, with my wife. And I also was expected to provide strength for my wife. Church members and family members, when they come, everybody just talk about my wife and things and how I should support it. The loss, I feel like, at a point in time, I feel like the loss is for the two of us. It's the two of us that are suffering the loss. It's not just my wife. Okay, well, she almost lost her wife, but at least I was also involved in it. And it took a very long time for you have to go and see the psychologist on a couple of occasions. So that aspect helped the psychologist to focus. Well, the psychologist that made me feel a bit better.
They believe the phone is theirs. People say, now when we call you, don't pick up. When my children pick up my phone, I mean, and they're on YouTube, and calls come in, they just cut the call and continue watching. Continue watching Peppa Pig.
My daughter picked my call, and she told the person, I don't know who you are. Stop calling my mother. It was one of our weaknesses. Stop calling my mother. I'm busy using my mother's phone. And she did recording. So later I was checking the phone and I found that recording. I was, so how would this person feel? And the person has been seeing me always. She has never approached to me that I called you the other time and this is what.
You know, my daughter, when she has my phone and the call comes, Mommy, I have trouble. Mommy, I have trouble. Mommy, they are calling you. And it's like, the people are disturbing you. So hurry up, pick up the call so I can continue.
Well, at least they pick up. My kids, they'll just cut the call and then they'll continue. And when they're bored, they video call people very randomly. They'll go on, WhatsApp, and they start calling random people.
And sending
and sending pictures.
And messages. So for me, my phone, I don't have any bad pictures on it because of my children.
Do you get people judging you for letting your children use your phone?
Yes, they think you are spoiling them. Yeah. Okay. Living in a a local like extended family setting, I always give the phone to her because that's the only way I get peace.
Yep.
Okay. So when you always they are like if they play like. She will get spoiled because anytime she wants it, you give it to her.
Honestly, I wish I didn't have to give my children my phone so much. I wish I could, hang out with them more and chat with them more when we are together. But look, the truth is when you are driving, and these children are not engaged. They don't have, anything to... In fact, sometimes I'll give them coloring. I'll give them a book, to color. But over time, they get tired of coloring in this Accra traffic. They do. And they want to watch something. And the moment they get their hands on your phone, unfortunately, one of my children discovered Snapchat and I deleted the app. Because now he's like, oh, I want the puppy face. Oh, look, I want the funny face. Mommy, look at your eyes. I was like, okay, social media, no. So I had to delete the app from my phone.
My 2-year-old knows about TikTok.
TikTok?
Yes. Mommy, I want to TikTok.
I want to TikTok.
Yes, 2 years.
Oh boy, I just deleted the app.
I get that sometimes they feel like people are exaggerating, or maybe someone could even be like a hypochondriac. But how many? Like, how many of such people do we have?
And if you are exaggerating, isn't it better to err on the side of caution?
Yes.
That, well, she might be exaggerating, but maybe she isn't. Why not take them seriously and see if they're actually suffering what they say they're suffering, than ignore it and then they get worse.
And then when it's too late.
Exactly. That's what I don't get. I feel like, well, I'm in a hospital, so perhaps you want to err on the side of caution. Maybe she's exaggerating, but let's assume that she isn't.
Yeah. I was going to say that all of this gaslighting normally happens with male
doctors.
But then you mentioned the example of the nurse, and I was like, but then again, you think about it, and sorry to pull the race card, but Black women or African women, we are like the epitome of strength. I don't want to be the epitome of strength when my life is literally on the line in the hospital.
I know someone who was told that, but you should be used to pain by now.
Right. Yep. If you were a white woman who said you needed to be put under for that thing, they would do it.
Yeah, I guess. That's true. I guess.
Very true.
It's crazy. I agree with you when you say that. Like when you're a woman and you go to the hospital and you're in pain, sometimes it's expected that you're used to pain.
And if you were a man who said that, they would put him under as well. Exactly. But why do women always get a shot?
I've had a woman who had her babies recently, a few months old, and they had to fix a line, and she said it was painful, and she was told, "Anna, what I will say, like you just had a baby, you should pain shouldn't be a problem for you because you've literally had a baby, a human being come out of your body, so you should be used to pain." I was very young then, but I figured that no, but so because she's been able to endure the pain of childbirth, she should be able to just every other pain should be just all right to deal with.
There's this nonchalance that nurses, deal with people in pain that I don't understand. Like you're crying and they are not even trying to...
You know the worst one? Women in labor who are abused.
Yes, beating. Like you flog a woman in labor.
I've
she's not
never
able
seen
to
it, but I've
push.
heard it too many times. Like a woman is in labor, she's not able to push, and then they will slap your thigh.
What's that? Why?
Well, a girl once told me that they do that because some women will try to shut their legs, and that will kill the baby. On our IVF episode, Nanama McBrown shares her story on navigating the maze of trying to have a baby. After 20 years, her second IVF treatment brought her the very best news of her life. Is it very expensive to do an IVF treatment in Ghana?
No, very yes. A very, very big yes. And that's what scares people mostly.
Yeah.
They say, Miniska, no. And it's true. It depends on you, the person, the procedure, your system. However, I'm going to give a very raw figure because I personally had some privileges. So some of the things I didn't pay. I mean, some things were given to me, medication, the hospital and all that. But I know it's between $4,000 to $8,000 in between. Now, that part is mainly what I want to, be talking about. You may have the money, you may have all the support from your husband, from the family, but if at the end of the day you have a negative result, you break down totally. You break down totally. You think that your world has come to an end and everything is falling down for you because you feel that is the last option, the only alternative, the only hope you have. The night before, because after everything, the procedure is done, you'll be told to have a very quiet time with your own self. And within that time, you'll be talking to yourself, praying, hoping that you have a very positive result. But you realize that you don't even want to brush your teeth. You don't want to walk. Me, I didn't want to walk because so that they'll tell me, or do you understand what I mean? So I had to relax more. No phone calls, less activities. Even my husband, I was trying to tell him to go to a different room. I don't want you to be pushing me on the bed. I was just at one place in my house, my living room. In the morning when I come and I relax like this, it's only maybe I had to go and wee-wee or to the washroom or something. If not, I was so particular every second. And this time, after the 2 weeks, I didn't do it at home. I prayed. I was praying. I was crying on God. Now, every moment, I was crying to God. Don't disappoint me, God. Now, you see, when we are saying it like this, people might think we're actresses, so we just have a script or something. It was an easy thing, we are just exaggerating. No. Now, could you visa cry order? Can you cry? If you want a visa. When I went to the hospital, in the morning I was so down. I was so confused. However, I was hoping not to have that same result. Yet I was just denying my thought. It was a confusing moment for me going to the hospital. When I went there, the main nurse was like, Nana, why? She looks sad already. I said, oh, it's okay. She said, no, you don't have to look like that. Let's go. And when I went there, they tried, I had to go to the lab and see if I'm in waiting. I was just hopeless.
Did you go alone?
Yes. I went alone because I just felt like I'm in it alone. My husband would say whatever, but he console me or comfort me and all that. But he already had 2 kids, so mostly I just feel like he doesn't understand how I feel. Sometimes that's how we feel.
Yeah.
That you don't understand the way I feel.
Nobody will understand.
Yes. However, he's showing all the care and all that, but the support. But I wasn't seeing it. It was about me at that moment. But thank God that when the results came and the doctor was like, oh, it's a very when he said for a minute, I thought, you know, the movie kind of scene.
Yeah.
Where they're like, we hope that the future or something. So I was just hoping that it won't be the same result, God. And he was like, Amma, let's thank God. You are pregnant. When he said you're pregnant, I was still thinking I was shooting my scene. You're pregnant. So I was going to, like, I'm sure he was hoping that I was going to go, oh my God. For a minute, I was doubting the positive news. For a minute now. What was I mean? My try and not my train, but every time has been negative, negative, negative. So for a minute, I thought he was lying.
Yeah.
And Dr. Ellis, he was like, oh, Nana, you are not happy. I said, Doctor, are you sure? Because me, coming from home, even though the result, this is what I want, but as I mean, nah, my story changed from that day.
You're still watching We Got This Africa. When we come back, we'll hear a song of inspiration from Angel.
We got this. We got this.
You're welcome back. How about some music now? Angel sang for us from the very, very pit of her heart. Take a look.
I'm tempted to ask you to sing. Would you sing? All right. Okay.
Can I stand?
Yeah, you can stand.
Okay. You are here, moving in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. Yeah. Waymaker, miracle worker. Oh, you a blessing changer, light in my darkness. That is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker. You are life giver, light in my darkness, my God. Who you are. You are here. You're changing every heart today. I worship you, oh Lord. I give you praise, praise, praise. You are here. You're healing broken hearts today. I worship you. I worship you.
Thank you. You're okay. It's 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 okay. Your best days are ahead of you, okay? All the bad things are behind you, okay? Okay. It's 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 okay. Don't cry. It's okay.
All in all, it's been a great third season. Talking to extraordinary women, listening to them share their stories of hope, courage, and resilience. We thank you for being a part of our show. From all of us here, we say thank you. Special thanks going out to my sponsors, Frytol, and to Kaiser for supporting this season. I'd like to invite everyone who's made it possible, my crew. A round of applause to the power behind the performance. Thank you guys, thank you. And thank you to Paula and Wadham still in the MCR who are unable to come out here. Thank you all, Eugene, Michael, Francis, Cecil, and everyone at Anita Erskine Media and Boss Lady Productions and April Communications for making this possible. Of course, our editor behind the screens right now, John Drea. Thank you for making this possible. My name is Nashako Mensah Doku. From all of us, we say thank you. See you next season. Bye-bye. Mwah.
What is that? We go stay okay, we go be alright. Oh, Inyami, go chichino. Inyami, ban your face. Inyami, walk on down. Kenya fe, oh ban your face. Inyami, go chichino. Inyami, ban your face. Inyami, walk on down. Kenya fe, oh ban your face. 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 We got this. Kenya fe, oh ban your face.
We Got This Africa is an April Communications production, proudly brought to you by Frytol. Frytol, you deserve a life of goodness.